Hello everyone, welcome back to our revision classes of UGC NET paper 2. Here we will study kurtosis and skewness. This is the subtopic of unit 5, that is business stats and research methodology. I have completed the two topics. Okay, if you have not gone through it, please go through it for your revision. Okay, so let's start with the skewness. Before going to the skewness, why we are using skewness as we having dispersion? Okay, we have studied the measures of dispersion. So dispersion tells us how much variations is between the central tendency, right? But cannot depict the order of shape, whether symmetrical or asymmetrical. Clear? So to know the shape of the symmetrical figure, we use skewness. Okay, skewness itself tells the lack of symmetrical. First, we'll understand what the word symmetry means. See, symmetry means we can divide the figure into two equal halves. Okay, see, this is a figure having the both equal tails on the both the sides. Okay, if we divide from the between, okay, so we'll see the same magnitude is on the either side. Okay, so this is the symmetrical. But what if the figure is not symmetrical? Then the term we'll use is skewness, because skewness tells that the figure is non-symmetry. Clear? Now, if there is no variations, okay, means if there is no deviations, or we can say if there is no dispersion between the central tendency, then what the value of central tendency will come? We'll see that mean will equal to mode, median will equal to mode. Clear? We'll see this figure. Then what this figure says? This figure says that the graph is normally distributed. Okay, the graph is normally distributed. Here the mean is equal to median is equal to mode. Okay, but what if mean is not equal to median, or if median is not equal to mode? Either the mean will be greater than median or it can be less than median. Okay, so we'll understand where the situation is median is less than mode or greater than mode. Okay, so here I have drawn a two figure. One is of yellow color and the other is of green color. You can see. Clear? So the first figure, we'll study the first figure. Here we see that the tail is moving towards the right, more deviated towards the right. Okay, so it is positively skewed diagram. Okay, positively skewed diagram. Clear? So here what we'll see is mean is greater than median is greater than mode. Clear? Now if the tail is deviated towards the left side, or we can say more deviated towards the left side, then it is negatively skewed. Clear? Here the mean will less than median will less than mode. Clear? Hope the term skewness is clear to you all. Okay, then give a thumbs up. Fine. Now we'll understand, so what's the difference between variance and the skewness? Skewness also tells the variation, and variance itself says the variation. So what is the difference? So we'll see the variance tells the amount of variability. Amount. Okay, variance show the amount of variability, but the skewness show the direction. See, this is showing the direction. Okay, this is moving more towards the right. It is showing the direction. Clear? But the variance does not show the direction. Fine. Now where the variance is used? Variance application is in the field of business and economics, whereas the skewness application is in the field of medical and life science. Clear? Okay. Now we will move towards the measurement of skewness. Okay, there are various methods to calculate skewness. Okay, so there are basically two methods, that is absolute figure and the relative figure. Absolute figure is not used for the purpose of comparison because of the same unit of skewness has the different meaning in the distribution. Okay, same unit means, see, the same unit centimeter of the same unit, but the skewness tells or depicts the different meaning in the same distribution. Okay, so that's why the result can be vague, that's why the absolute is ignored. Clear? Now the relative figure, it makes a valid comparison as it is unit free. Here we'll understand the coefficient. We'll calculate the coefficient of the skewness. Okay? Clear? Fine. Now we'll see the absolute measures. How many methods are there? The first is skewness equal to mean minus mode. Fine. The second is mean minus mode. If median is not given, then we'll use mode. Clear? Or if the mode is not given or mean is not given, then we'll use this formula, Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 median. Fine. Now let me tell you one thing. If Q3 minus M is not equal to Q1 minus M, okay, then we can say that skewness is present. Clear? This is very important term. Okay. If Q3 minus median is not equal to Q1 minus median, then we can say that a skewness is present over there. Clear? Okay. Now we'll move towards the relative measures. So relative measures are the pure numbers independent of units of measurement. Clear? That's why we use the relative measures for calculation of the skewness. Okay, we do not use the absolute measures. So we will see the formula one by one. Okay, the first one is Karl Pearson of skewness. Okay, Karl Pearson of skewness uses mean, median and mode and standard deviation for his calculation. Okay, he has used these 4 scales, or you can say 4 measures, 4 units to measure his skewness. Okay, the first formula is skewness equal to mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. Clear? The second, if mean is greater than median is greater than mode, then we can say that it is positively skewed. I have explained in the very first. Okay, and a vice versa means if mean is less than median is less than mode, then it is negatively skewed. Clear? The value of Karl Pearson usually ranges from +1 to -1. Clear? These are the properties. If mode not given, see, in the previous formula we have seen that mean minus mode, but what if mode is not given? If mode is not given, it's not a big deal. We can use another formula, and that is 3 mean minus median divided by standard deviation. Clear? And I am repeating once again, if all the mean, median and mode are equal to each other, then no skewness is present. Fine? The second one, Boolean's coefficient of skewness. Okay, it is based on the quartiles. Okay, based on the quartiles. This formula is based on the quartiles. In the Karl Pearson, it was based on the mean, mode, median and standard deviation. But in Boolean's coefficient of skewness, we see that it is based on the quartiles. Okay, the formula is Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 median divided by Q3 minus Q1. Q3 is a quartile 3, Q1 is the quartile 1. and twice of median. Clear? The value ranges between +1 and -1. In the Karl-Pearson also we have seen that +1 and -1. Here also we'll see +1 and -1. Clear? The third one, it's not very important, but we have to study everything because UGC can ask anything. Okay, so this is the third method, Kelly's coefficient of skewness, which is based on percentile and decile. Okay, the formula is P90 plus P10 minus 2 median divided by P90 minus P10. Okay, and decile D9 plus D1 minus 2 median divided by D9 minus D1. Clear? Okay. Now remarks. This properties, this is the some gist I can say, which is very important. Okay. Again, the same thing. Fine. If mean is equal to median is equal to mode, we see that no skewness. Clear? Sum of the frequency are equal on both the sides means Q3 minus median is equal to Q1 minus median, then no skewness. I have told you before that Q3 minus median is not equal. If not equal, then the skewness is present. But what if the not equal is not present? If equals on both the sides, then skewness is not present. Clear? If graph proposed to normal distribution means both the sides will be equal, deviated. Clear? Then no skewness will present. Fine. So this was all about the skewness. Clear? So now we will study about the kurtosis. Concept of kurtosis. Kurtosis simply says the flatness or we can say peakness. Okay, how much it has been elevated. Okay, the height. We can say kurtosis is measured on the basis of height. Okay, the more height we can name them what is that and all. So we'll study here. Okay, see this figure. Okay, this is the graph. Okay. So, the less elevated figure is known as palikurtic. Okay. The middle one is known as mesokurtic. Clear? And the highest peaked is known as leptokurtic. Okay. Clear? Now measures of kurtosis. Measures of kurtosis, as I have told you, absolutes are not taken into consideration. We'll always use coefficient, that is relative measures. Okay. The first measure is Karl-Pearson will take the second moment and the fourth moment. Clear? So B2 is equal to fourth moment divided by second moment, or if this formula is not present, then we'll use B2 minus 3. Okay. So the Karl-Pearson, it ranges from, we can say, -3 to 3. Clear? So now what this scale says, if beta is equal to 3, or we can say y is equal to 0, then the figure is mesokurtic. Means, let me show you. See here, the beta is equal to 3, or we can say y will equal to 0. Okay, then the figure will show mesokurtic. If beta is greater than 3, or you can say y is greater than 0, then it will show leptokurtic. Fine, and vice versa. If beta is less than 3 and y is equal to less than 0, then it is plikurtic. Okay, palikurtic. Clear? Okay, I have written here the same. Now the next measurement is Kelly measures of kurtosis, which is based on percentiles and deciles. Okay, the same formula is over here. Here the unit of measurement is beta is greater than 0.26315, that palikurtic. Okay, and if beta is less than 0.26315, then it is leptocurtic. It is just opposite to the Karl Pearson. We have seen if it is greater than leptocurtic, okay, but in the Kelly measures, if beta is less than 0.26, it is leptocurtic. Clear? Okay. So this was all about the skewness and kurtosis. Hope you have understood very well, and I think this class has brushed up your revision once again. So thank you for watching this video. Enjoy my video and all the very best. Thank you. Bye bye and have a nice day.